Switzerland, the beautiful landlocked nation, is known for its watchmakers. But can they build stadiums? Yes. Well, not the watchmakers, but Switzerland as a whole. Here are the Swiss Super League stadiums. We start off with Switzerland's largest stadium, St. Jakob Park. Like many stadiums in the league, it has its own little tower that's sort of attached to it. So that's nice. As for the interior, well, despite some pillars higher up in the stands that obstruct a few people's view, the facilities are top notch. Oh, and you may have noticed that one end has this big net thing. Well, that's there to help contain the rowdy spectators that occupy this area. A Toblerone is relatively harmless as a foodstuff, but as a projectile it can be deadly. Letzigrund. It's home to Zurich's two biggest clubs, only one of which is named after an insect. Or maybe it's named after the grasshopper cocktail, we'll never know. There's been a stadium on this site for nearly 100 years, but the current stadium was opened in 2007. Having a running track mightn't be ideal for football, but that's about the only negative. The stadium has an interesting design, with a clean looking asymmetrical seating bowl and some very distinctive floodlights. It's quite an elegant stadium actually. In the beautiful mountain town of Lugano, we have the less beautiful and completely mountain-free Stadio Conneredo. It's probably the most rudimentary stadium in the league, and there is a track once more, but it has improved in recent years. It wasn't that long ago that it still had some wooden benches. It's soon set to undergo a major renovation that will bring it up to par with the other Swiss Super League stadiums. It's such a beautiful setting, but that's Switzerland for you. Swisspor Arena. Upon seeing this stadium, people often shout, "Eureka!" The garish gold exterior isn't my cup of tea. They were actually forced to put these solar panels up here. Otherwise, too much of the sun's rays would be reflected from the earth, and we would have entered another ice age. Finally, we have some normality with the interior, which is toned down by comparison. Although, the field is overlooked by the two tallest buildings in the city, and they're gold as well. There's no let up. Stade de Geneva. This stadium might not be located in a tranquil setting, right between the train tracks and a busy road, and its bare concrete exterior isn't the prettiest. But that doesn't particularly matter once inside. The interior is quite simple as well, but you really don't see many pink stadiums. And I think this stadium looks pretty in pink. But actually, they were just faded burgundy seats that have since been replaced, as you can see. That makes more sense. Stade Tourbillon. Back to the old school methodology of stadium building, where corner seating is the sign of the devil. Nothing wrong with that though. All stands pretty much match each other aesthetically speaking. There's a good ratio of terraces and seating, but the best part about this stadium is probably the backdrop. From some seats you get a view of a nice castle. Yeah, that's not that uncommon in Europe, but the stadium's actually named after it. Kaiben Park. As you may have already spotted, this one has an attached shopping centre, including an IKEA. It's a sneaky business practice that I'm not a fan of. Too many times have I gone out expecting to simply watch a game of football and ended up bringing back a kitchen or two. The stadium itself does have a nice clean interior, with a single tier of seats, as well as this triple-decker section of suites, which have surely been fitted with the finest furniture that IKEA has to offer. Stadion Schützenfässer. I wonder which language they speak in this part of Switzerland. Some people call this the poor man's Swisspor Arena. Other, more sensible people point out that it has very little in common. It's far from flashy, consisting of two rather basic grandstands and even some small sections of uncovered concrete terraces at each end. To be fair, the eastern grandstand is pretty much brand new, and it's looking alright. Stadion Wankdorf. It's easy to poke fun at that name, but its predecessor once hosted football's biggest event, a World Cup final, so I'll be respectful. And it's not just the stadium that should be respected. Wankdorf, young boys, and all of the people that come and watch. Anyway, this too includes a shopping centre somewhere inside. I like that they've put the famous clock from the old stadium out front, and I'm quite fond of that colour scheme, particularly those hits of yellow. And those were the Swiss Super League stadiums. As always, if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, have a good one.